everyone, welcome to Paper Therapy with Amy. Today I have photos of Westminster Abbey. There's no people in these photos, it's just pictures of the Abbey itself. And I plan to scrapbook them with the beautiful gallery collection, of course. But I wanted to spend some time today talking to you about how I decide what to do with what photo. So as you can see, they're kind of laying across the page, and I've cut a few of them to 3.5 by, these are all 5.5 tall. This one is actually almost 4x6, sorry. These ones are all 5.5 tall. All of these are the same height, and then some of them are 4 inches wide and some of them are 3.5. Whenever I could make them 3.5, I did, because it gives me a little extra space. And then this one here is kind of the main photo, and it's going to be highlighted a little bit, probably maybe popped up, or I have some smaller supporting photos. I'm not positive I'm going to use them all, but I kind of would like to use them. C.S. Lewis was not buried there. This is a commemorative thing, but they had some other ones too, and I did print them, but I don't love how they look, so I don't know if I really need these. Another thing I wanted to talk to you about is I have told you before that I really like this size of photo, and I do really like it, especially for supporting photos, because if you look here at this one, it's just a slightly different angle than this one, just showing you kind of how high it looks when you're standing at the base of it. Now, if you see them in comparison here, this picture, it's really not that much smaller. It's just a different angle, because it's only showing them from about here. You can see this thing here is at the bottom of the window, and then it's showing them like I'm closer to the building, so I'm looking more straight up. So I've had people in the comments say that if your eyesight is failing or whatever, then 3x4 photos are not big enough. But if you look at this picture in this instance, it's really not a different size than this. It's just a smaller amount of this. So say you're going to crop this window out, you could actually blow this window up and it would end up being bigger than it is in this photo. So sometimes I think 3x4s are still okay, even if you have trouble seeing, because sometimes you just want to showcase a portion of the photo. And that's why I'll use a 3x4 and then I'll zoom that area. Now, I originally had this door printed in a 3x4, but I had it portrait and not landscape, and the other 3x4s I have are all landscape, so I decided to make it full size. Plus, I've been working the wood grains in, and I really liked that it was wood. I think this door is really cool. But even if you look at this door, I could have even blown it up a little bit more. The size of the door is fairly different here, but it's because I blew it up in this picture as well. If I had left it as the picture was, the door wouldn't actually be that much smaller in this picture because of the zooming. So just remember, when you make 3x4, and this one too, when you make 3x4 photos, this is like I was taking a picture down at the ground, right? So I zoomed this way in. So when you're making 3x4 photos, you may be zooming them way in, and then technically they're not really any smaller than the 4x6 would be. It's just less of the building or whatever it is on it. I hope that made sense. I was trying to make sense, but I was confusing myself a little bit. So I'm thinking I'm going to have this on this side, and I'm just going to title the page Westminster Abbey, because that's what all the pictures are of. I'd like to break up the busiest pictures, which is, I would say, these three, especially these two. I'd like to break those up with the quieter pictures, which I would say is these three. They're a little bit less busy. This one's a little bit busy, but it's kind of, this is a lot. There's a lot going on here. So I'm thinking like maybe possibly overlapping this one and lifting it up and giving it a good border. So let's say I would give it this paper for a border. I'm not sure yet. And I could trim it down slightly so that I'm above this fence here. And then let's put this one over here. So we're looking kind of from the outside, and then then inside the building. This is it, walking around the courtyard, and this is from the same area. You can see these windows with, we're looking through them over here, and over here you can see what the ones on the other side look like. But I find this picture is a little bit easier to look at, a little bit less crazy. So these pictures are all the smaller, more narrow size, so I feel like I should switch this one with this one. And then possibly this one with this one. And then, so it's kind of calm, busy, busy, calm, busy, calm. But I think this one won't feel as busy once it's been lifted up on pop dots and or dimensionals and double matted. So I'm thinking something like this. Not sure if I'm going to leave spaces between everything. This one for sure is going to overlap things. And then I'm not sure about these guys yet, but I'm going to worry about them once I've kind of got this figured out. So last time everybody really loved, I did like a row of flags down here, and that was part of my decoration. I'm not sure if it was last time or the time before, but anyway, in any case, everybody really loved that. But this time I think I want to do something similar, which when you're using 6x6 papers, it's nice to do those little banner flags because you don't need a full sheet. So I think I'm going to do a set down here and then maybe a set up here to continue it. I also want to have like a banner behind here, and I'm thinking mist because that's one of the coordinating colors in, like I have this little piece, and I think I would use some of this. It's like tree. And then some ones that are a little bit more boring, like this one and this one. So, and then possibly this floral one too, because I think the blacks bring out some of the black in the layout. So I'm thinking that this will be underneath. Let's try that. Okay, so, and it'll go across the whole thing. And then I want a little bit, and I think I want it to kind of come closer to the bottom here. And then I want a little bit of black as well, like some strips of black. Like that. And then the black is what I'm going to use to anchor my flags that will be hanging. Actually, they're going to be on the bottom over here. So there'll be a little bit of black, just the same as that. And then I'm anchoring the blacks where the flags will be anchored. And then I could even stitch a line there, and then they'll be coming down here. And then I'll also be doing the same thing on the other side, but it will be like this. And then a little bit closer up to the top. And then let's bring these down. And then I'm going to have the flags anchored here, and then they can overlap some of the pictures a little bit. I feel like this is a narrower picture and these two are wider, so not sure. I haven't fully decided how that's going to go yet. You might see them move around a little bit yet, but I am going to cut my background out and have that on the page. Okay, so this is kind of what I had in mind, and then I realized that I cut these too narrow to go all the way across, so I was going to see white here. So I've been thinking about what I can do yet. I want to put something more behind the pictures to kind of brighten them up. I also thought about tucking these in because that would cover up the fact that it doesn't go behind if they went like this. But I like that, I do, but I still feel like it needs a little something. Those flags are really going to help, but I thought I kind of want to use to print up the background a little bit with some inking and splattering, maybe. But I don't know if I want it to go all the way here. So I did tell you I wanted to use wood grain with this paper pack. So I'm gonna just try and see what it looks like if I put the wood grain in behind. And I feel like this one matched. I chose this one because I thought it matched this door the best of the wood grains. Now I like that, but I feel like this is the same color as that, as the wood grain. Let's put the other one in too. Something like that. So I really like that, and I think I would let this go right to the end and then have these create that frame illusion inside. And these would meet obviously together. And then I think maybe I have to change out this paper. What's on the back? It's the boats, but you wouldn't see them if I put, oh, you know what? That looks pretty good actually. See, you don't right away, you got to think outside the box because this totally works. And then I can cut a piece out of the center here and use some of it for some of the flags because you won't be able to tell that this is boats. Or maybe you want boats if your picture, if it goes with your pictures. Making a flag. Like that. And then let's get some charcoal ink and my ink blending tool, and let's go like this. There. Let's put that on top of there once again. I like how that brings the colors together, and I think we need one more like that, but it might go on the other side. This one could go over here. Something like that, and then this one could go over here. Oh, I really like that. Now, do I need this one? I don't know if I need to use this because I also have this. I was looking at these and I thought, you know, I think I need a cream background. So this is vanilla close to my heart paper, and I'm going to try it in behind these pieces, and sure enough, I like that a lot better. As I said, I want a little something on this cream frame around the edge, so I'm going to use the Elements of Text stamp set, and I'm going to add a little bit of text. I still had my white pieces of paper behind, so I didn't want to ink them up with this Elements of Text stamp set. So I'm just using my Versamat here, and I'm going to pencil mark the spots where I kind of want the elements of text to show up. And I'm just trying it out here on this scrap of paper to see that I like it, and I do, but I think it has to go a little lower down so it's right in that corner. So I'll mark them and then I'll start stamping. I'm using this particular text. It's like a rectangle piece, and I'm just gonna stamp and stamp off some of the time or use it a second time without re-inking it. And once I get that how I like it, I'm also going to use one of the splatters. I'm using toffee ink for this text, and then I'll be using black for the splatters. Sometimes I'll put a stamp like this on the ends of my fingers. I find you get a different amount of pressure on different parts of the stamp, so it makes it even more distressed looking. Off camera, I also used a blending brush and some charcoal ink to kind of add some more ink blending to each of those splattery spots. And I also inked all the way around the edge. If I'm able to kind of glue all the elements or tape all the elements together without taping them to the background, I'll do that sometimes when I am wanting to do some treatment to my frame or my background, because that way I can keep putting the pieces in and taking them out to see if I like how it's turning out. So I decided that that picture of the top of Westminster Abbey, after I talked about it for so long, is too similar, so I'm not going to use it. I'm just going to use these two small square photos. I cut the 3x4s down to 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. I also have this little banner here. I'm gonna stamp the word Abbey on here and put Westminster on the top. As you can see, I used the Alamode alphabet and cut out the letters for Westminster, and then I'm going to add this Abbey. This is just a stamp set, alphabet stamp set from my stash. The picture of the Abbey is popped up, and so is this little banner popped up on top of the picture. I bought this golden Greenery stamp set when it was on the last chance section, and it was discounted a bit. And I said that I was never going to use those bells because I think they're hideous. And what am I doing? I'm using the bells. I didn't use both stamps, so I like them a little better without using both stamps. And I don't know, I just wasn't a fan of them at all. But in this layout, I just thought they're kind of perfect for a church like this with bell towers. So I decided to use them anyway. Now, they have a second stamp that adds detail, and no matter how I tried, I didn't like how that second stamp looked. So I just did the one stamp, and then I strung them with a little bit of blue ribbon, and I'm going to add them to my 3 kind of embellishment spots, although I guess I sort of have 4 because I have those flags at the top as well. I also found this Seeing the Sights in my stash, and I'm going to add it in black to the middle little flag here. And yep, I really like how that looks. I also need to add a little bit of blue ribbon to the bells on the square picture on the bottom there. I also have the pressed flower motifs, and I'm going to add a few of those on the layout, and I'm going to call it done. So it's fairly simple, but I'm really happy with how it turned out, and I love the rich warm colors against that mist color, or it could be cloud cover. We really enjoyed our visit to Westminster Abbey, and I'm glad that I could commemorate that visit by making a scrapbook layout. If you enjoyed watching this video, I would just love it if you'd hit that thumbs up button. And if you're not a subscriber, I would love to have you. Another way you can support me if you're Canadian is to make an order. And if you just click on the description, it will explain how you need to do that. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching this layout come together. And if you want to see more of this paper collection, click right here.